Hi, I'm Little Johnny, and I'm about to attempt a helicoil repair on a cast iron Corvette intake manifold. The previous owner stripped out one of the bolts and he either JB welded it or super glued it or Loctited it in just enough to hold it, but when I got on it, nothing came out but rust and white dust. So here we go. Here's the Corvette. It's a 1968. You can tell the 68s from the 69s because they don't have the chrome inserts like this one does. Those shouldn't be there. Anyway, here's the motor. It's a crate 350 motor the previous owner put in. And here's my problem area. That bolt that holds down the thermostat outlet is stripped out. I'm going to take a drill and drill it out, tap it, and try using a helicoil in there. That bolt goes all the way down into the water passage, which is the source of a lot of corrosion and problems. Here's the helicoil kit I got. It comes with a tap and a special tool, and Amazon recommended I buy the correct size drill bit right along with it, saving me time. We'll see how it does in cast iron. I can't really hold the drill and the camera at the same time, so I'm just going to show you my setup here. I got a big DeWalt. I'm going to run it in low speed. I'm going to put a little oil on the bit and see if we can drill through that hard cast iron. Again, I can't hold the drill and the camera at the same time, but this is what I'm about to do. Okay, here I'm using my magnetic pickup tool just to pick up the magnetic chips from the drilling operation. You can see a little bit of oil shining on there. I'm going to put a little more oil on as I tap that hole. Here you can see my magnetic pickup tool and the amount of debris, magnetic iron, that I cut out of that hole. She's a beauty, isn't she? Bought her down in Phoenix. She's a daily driver, not a numbers car or anything. And I've had to do a lot of work on it, but I sure enjoy it. This is the helicoil kit. I've only got one of the inserts in there. It comes with the tap. It's a special tap. It's not a tap that you can take out of your regular toolbox, and a tool for breaking off the thing. You're going to need a tap handle, which I went and got out of my toolkit, and I'll show you tapping the hole here. I would like to tap the hole like this, but obviously there's no room for the handle on that tap. So let me get something else. By pulling the oil filler out, I can use this bad boy plus just a bolt as a handle to tap that hole. Be sure and use some oil, either cutting oil or even just plain old regular oil. You want to tap forward 1/8 of a turn and then back a 1/2 turn to eject the churns. Keep advancing 1/8 to 1/4 of a turn. Don't ever keep advancing and advancing without ejecting your chips. Okay, I'm using a big old nail to drive this thing. I'm actually lubricating it with a little bit of tri-flow. And you'll see I turn it a bit forward and then back it up to eject the chips. And then a little more forward and back it up to eject the chips. You never want to go all the way in. This is tapping real nice. The important thing is to try and start it straight, 90 degrees straight up and down, because once it starts, you ain't going to change it. There's a cut. Back it up a little bit. Take a cut. Back it up. You get the idea. One question is, when do you stop? Well, all of a sudden you'll feel a lot of resistance if you're hitting the bottom of a hole, if it's a blind hole. This one goes down a little bit into the waterway passage, but not all the way around. So I think I've hit bottom, and yeah, and so that's it. We're done. I'm gonna unscrew the tap, run the magnet through there again, clean it out, and next we'll try and insert the insert. Pull that tap back out of there, hit the hole with the magnet, clean it out, and we'll try and put the insert in. Again, you can see the metal chips on the tap. Here's the insert and the special tool. The tab goes at the bottom. We're going to have to break that off once we get it in the hole. Again, since I don't have 3 hands, I'm going to thread this in and then show you what it looks like. Okay, So here we go. Here's the time insert in the special tool. We'll put that in the hole. Start threading. Okay, I'm going to need some sort of wrench to get that in. Okay, here we go. I've got a crescent wrench on it. You can see I've already got started it. Supposedly, if you can, you want to put the insert a little bit below grade into your hole. Just a little bit. And it looks like that's about where I'm running out of thread anyway. Okay, I'm going to take the insert, the tool back out. There's one step left, which is to bust off the tab on that coil, and then I've got a repaired thread. I could have turned the tool around and used it as a punch, but I'd rather not booger the end of this up by hitting it with a hammer wrong. So I just took one of my punches and punched it out. Now the question is, if that was truly a blind hole, you couldn't punch it out. There'd be nowhere for that insert to go. In that case, you'd need to use a Time-Sert, a product called a Time-Sert instead of a Heli-Coil. But that's not a blind hole. It goes down to the water passage, and that's a problem because that's why the bottom of that bolt corrodes and strips everything on its way out. So I'm going to put a little plumber's putty or Teflon tape on that bottom of that bolt to protect it from getting into that water passage. Anyway, I may never have to take it off again anyway. Maybe it'll be the next owner's problem. So anyway, with that done, I can put the gasket on, the thermostat on, swing it back into way, swing the thermostat outlet back into place, fill it with coolant, burp it, and hopefully we'll get this baby back on the road. I'll be back in a few minutes, or actually probably more, about an hour, and we'll see if we got her done. Anytime you put a steel bolt into aluminum, or for that matter cast iron, if you put a little anti-seize on that bolt, you'll sure make the life of the guy next who comes after you a whole lot easier. Seize on it, it'll spread itself out in threads, and I just slip that baby in there. It also lubricates. I typically take these bolts out and hold them up against the wire wheel on my grinder.